What is good? What is good? Welcome to a brand new episode of Drag the Lake. I am one of your hosts, Andy Malfrino. With me, as always, the late great Pat George. Pat, how you doing? We started a little bit late. We already pushed it back an hour because I was a sleepy boy and I needed to crush a nap. And then, no, don't give me a look. You're the one who took 15 minutes to find a new microphone.
Saying that microphone worked at 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. Well, at 8 o'clock, it didn't work. And then at 8:15, you found your other mic that I guarantee you was in arm's length.
Oh, yeah, it was right here.
Yeah, I was like sitting here like, how long does it take to just get a second microphone? But we're here. We're queer. Get fucking used to it. Welcome to a brand new episode of Drag the Lake. All things considered, how the fuck you doing, Patrick?
Still absolutely furious at technology, and I just wish they would take over and kill us all, please.
Were you sitting there fuming, like cursing out your microphone? Because
Yeah.
I was like sitting here like, what's going on? Where's my boy Patty?
Because legitimately, I've gotten into a good routine where I have everything set up for anything I need for any podcast I do. I do 6 a.m. podcast up here. Actually, the other day I went to go do a Zoom meeting up here, and my fucking desktop was just like, nah, you're not updated. And I was like, okay, so then I'll update. And it was like, okay, cool. Nah, we can't update. And I was like, okay. So I'm just paying for Zoom for nothing. I can't use my Zoom on here. And I wanted to throw the whole thing out of the window. I really have a hair trigger with technology and shit like that. But I don't know, man. How was your weekend? You had a pretty good weekend, right? You had a better.
My weekend was pretty good. My weekend was pretty good. No, I'm still hung up that you took 15 minutes to just get that second microphone. Sorry, I'm being autistic.
Most of it was problem solving. Was figuring out it was the microphone and not the interface or my computer, because like I just told you, you autistic shit.
No, don't give me that tone. Don't give me that. Don't give me
Listen
that like I just.
word I say.
Don't
Andy.
give me that like I just told you, Patrick. Stop.
I just tried to do a fucking meeting up here, and this exact computer wouldn't let me do it. So I don't know if it was this computer thing, and I needed to grab.
So
my
maybe
laptop.
you should have gotten into the Caddick a little bit early and just should have known your computer is prone to tardation, Patrick.
You say around 7? Should I come up around 7?
Well, you had an hour. And now the fans are
a whole pint of ice cream.
All right, would you say that next time?
Okay.
Just say that. Don't give me some bullshit that it took you 15 minutes to grab a second microphone.
Lock me up. Come on. What am I on trial here? I was eating a whole pint of ice cream in the hour that you gave me.
Here's the thing. The fair assumption originally was that you were just lollygagging and being a piece of shit. But then you give me the real info and you were eating the whole pint of ice cream. Now I have zero fucking problem, Pat. Just be honest. Just be honest with me out of the fucking gate.
That's what we're here for at Danzig Era Misfits, the podcast, is honesty. We want honesty here at Drag the Lake.
Mm-hmm.
We want Andy to tell me that the reason he needed to push it back an hour was nappy time.
That's absolutely not an issue. Pointless to even bring up that I had to push it back an hour. I wanted to come prepared to the podcast. I gave you an extra hour of your time to get your horse shit figured out.
It was just on your side, you piece of shit. I was telling you, if you would have just told me you needed a nap, there wouldn't have been confusion in that case. Man,
I didn't think I needed to tell you.
I didn't think I was coming in here to break up with my best friend. Okay,
you're not. You're not. If you think this is gonna end in a breakup, then you're a fucking full of ice cream little get the hell back here right now.
What?
You goddamn son of a bitch. Anyway, how you doing, man? It's really good to see you.
Pretty good. Just, same old, eat my feelings. I made some soup for the first time. It's soup season, baby.
Dude, I was crushing some soup this weekend. I had a good long weekend. Soup was a necessary involvement. I wish I was tired for good reasons, but it was
good reasons.
I don't know. I think it was cracking me up. Steph was calling me out because I was like, I need to rest up. She was like, from what? I was like, from drinking too much, Steph. It's from drinking too much. But
you had a very social weekend. You had a very active week. You had a lot of obligations.
I had shows in upstate New York, and they're at breweries, and they were I will say this: my palate isn't always ready. Excuse me, my palate isn't always ready for like quality beers. I am a bit of a light beersman, and whenever you go to an actual brewery and they give you like quality beers, sometimes my tum tum ain't ready for that. And on top of that, well, dude, fucking, it was so this was so I wanted to tell you about this. This was so goddamn funny because I was doing 2 shows in upstate New York. And I still, unfortunately, pull the curtain aside. I still, unfortunately, got the day job and shit. And I didn't like check how far this place was. I was like, yeah, it's probably just like a 2-hour drive. And then I look it up, and it's like a fucking 4.5, 5-hour drive. And then with stopping and getting more gas and stuff like that, it ended up being like a 6-hour drive. So I noticed that at about midnight the night before, and I'm like doing the math, like, God damn it, I have to get up so fucking early now. So I got no sleep Thursday into Friday.
Yeah.
Left work immediately to go to this show. Get to the show, hanging on for dear life. The show ends up being not that great because it was one of those where 99% of the audience was great, but then there was this one table of fucking dickheads, and they were just bullying the rest of the crowd into like just being uncomfortable. They were just being annoying as shit. So that night ended up being a little bit rocky, but we get back to the hotel room. I had a couple of Miller Lights, and I just sleep like a goddamn baby. But then I get up and I go, and I'll give a shout out to the Holiday Inn in Utica, New York. Holiday Inn Express in Utica, New York. You need to work on your breakfast, but the coffee, not bad. Some of the worst eggs I've ever had in my life, some of the worst sausage I've ever had in my life, but their coffee, top quality coffee. And Andy was hacking into that a little bit too much. So I spent most of the day feeling like I was on fucking pre-workout.
Did they have one of those waffle makers where you could like pour the batter in and it has a little timer and everything? Was it like one of those bougie places? Those are my favorite.
Yeah. No, they had like an automatic pancake maker where you just like push a button and 9 minutes later a pancake walks out. I can't do those waffle makers and shit because I'm over exaggerating, but still, like whenever you do the you made a face, you were like 9 whole minutes, my word. But no, when you do those machines in hotels and shit like that, first off, whenever you pour the pancake or whenever you pour the batter into the waffle maker, it immediately gets fucking everywhere and you just look like an animal, and that makes me self-conscious. Then it just feels like it takes forever for that shit to make. And then it's just, I don't want to just be standing there like a fucking dickhead, just being like, just having my little fucking pancakes, and so I just default to all the like pre-made stuff. I don't know. There's something about like they had bagels and I didn't toast them because there's something about just like standing there in front of, because they never set up the breakfast bar in a way that lets you stand there and not be completely in the way. Yeah. And I hate it. So I never toast my bagels. I will say this, the last couple hotels I've been at, they'll have a little cup of peanut butter and I'll put some peanut butter on the fucking bagel. That's a good time. Breakfast morning, that's a good time.
It is like the combination. You don't realize the freedom you have at the breakfast bar, but like I will tell you, the breakfast bars that I have encountered on my travels for comedy have always been, compared to the ones that I like, dude, I just recently, my production, so I did a live podcast for Dominique in Buffalo. She was invited out to do a live podcast out in Buffalo. And so, you need the producer, right? So third wheel, hey, here I am. And so I came down, I drove, and dude, the hotel was the best hotel I've ever gotten comped. The fucking breakfast at the place you could go to had all the hot stuff. You could get your eggs or your sausages, all this other bullshit. They had the waffle maker. Definitely hit that shit up. But also, dude, clutch. The biggest thing, a bunch of pre-made breakfast sandwiches wrapped up like in like hot plate things. So you go like, oh, this is turkey bacon, and it's turkey bacon biscuits, turkey bacon croissants.
Yeah, I've only ever had that. I've only ever had that one time, and I remember looking at going like, "This is an option." It was at shout out Perryville, Maryland, once again with Robbie the Fire Bernstein. I
Yeah.
saw that and I go, "Wait, this is an option? You guys can just make these, and
Yeah.
like not everyone doesn't do it."
Oh my god! And it was like I was just like, and you could. My thing was, it's so crazy how you never. I don't know if I'll ever not have a poor mind. You're talking about, day job in it. We got our dreams, we got our hopes and dreams. But as far as I'm concerned, if you're eating a free breakfast because of the comedy that you do, I feel like that's a win in a way. But I know what you're talking about. Monetarily, obviously, you want a fuck ton of money for just the jokes that you tell.
Well, the free breakfast is fucking clutch, just because 9 times out of 10, you are fucking. It's especially. Well, especially at the point I'm at when I go out on the road, it still feels like a party. So you do the show, people are happy to see you. You throw a bunch back, get back to the hotel, and then a lot of times the next day is spent. Like Robbie's crazy; he'll just get up early and go for a run. And he's so many times he'll ask me, he'll be like, "Andy, do you want to?" He's like, "Do you want to go for a run with me?" And I'm like, respectfully, absolutely not, because the rest of the day is spent chilling, scrolling through your phone till you start to feel better around noon, and just having that breakfast there is fucking clutch. You know where I think I fucked up with all the fucking coffee is one, I was doing my weekly amount, and because I never sleep enough during the fucking week, I drink way too much caffeine, and it never goes fucking overboard. So this was after a night of, dude, I think I got about 10 in. It was nuts. I got yeah.
Brewery beers, not like fucking Miller Lights. 10.
Oh no, hours. I didn't drink that much at the brewery. No, I got like.
I assumed you were talking about drinking. Oh, I got like 10 beers in that night. Oh man, it was a good one.
No, we drank more the second night, just because the first night after we finished up the show, we had to drive another half hour to get to the hotel for the second show. But then we had a few beers in the hotel room and stuff. But I was also just going off like 4 hours of sleep, so I fucking crashed. And the bed was comfy as hell, so I crashed hard in that bed, and I woke up, and I think I crushed a good 9 hours or so. And so I was alert. And the coffee was hitting. And dude, I was on the, I'll give myself props. Did not have a panic attack all day, but I was on the edge all fucking day. I was doing laps around that Barnes and Noble because it sucked. We ended up getting another we originally, I was telling you, we were originally gonna like maybe drive back and stuff. But then after the second show, Robbie was like, fuck it, let's get another hotel room. And it was just kind of, it ended up sucking because like I had to kill time at a Barnes and Noble, and then I got Panera Bread and stuff all day. And then it's like, oh, I could have done my anxious pacing around the hotel room, not this Barnes and Noble. But either way, it ended up being fun. I bought some book about modern art, or just art in general. That was fun. I tried to read that, but I was God damn it!
Spilled beer.
I just spilled beer all over myself. Can you please give me 2 seconds?
Yeah. Andy now has to go get a new mic because he is a Butterfingers. What a better representation of exactly who we are as two heavy dudes listening to heavy tunes. Andy holds up his new book entitled Art. And then as he's putting it back down, he knocks over his beer and makes a mess, and has to pause a wonderful conversation about him nervously pacing around at Borders because he was. I don't understand why you had to nervously pace though. Was it because I have a problem? Like today technically was kind of like a day off for me, but like my day off, I still, found like laundry to do. I folded laundry, put stuff away, found a bunch of clothes to put in for donation next week. I like started packing all my a day off for me is just planning for my week, because so that way I can sleep tonight. But why were you nervously pacing around at Borders? What were you like? What was giving you anxiety?
No, I wasn't having anxiety. I was just jacked because like Dude, I was going.
Caffeine. Oh, okay.
I was going in on this Holiday Inn Express fucking coffee, and it
free,
was just.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, dude. Oh, that's the other part of it. My whole demeanor changes when it's free. Like I was going in on, and especially too, the hotel breakfast today had fucking biscuits and gravy, so I was being a fucking little messy piggy today, dude. And and oh yeah, but the coffee was coffee, and I'm a big fan of coffee, but also at the same time, coffee like really fucking affects me. So I was just going crazy with the coffee, but I didn't have anything to. I didn't want to just like keep driving around wasting gas. So I had nothing to get rid of my energy.
You should have gone running. That's the perfect time. I guess no, because you can't go running on a caffeine high because then your heart would burst, right?
Well, here was the thing though. We didn't. That was the thing. If we had a hotel room, I would have gone running and gotten a shower. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't have anywhere to fucking clean up, but either way, I also, you know what else I fucking did? You know what else I fucking did while I was actually, I had a big moment because, and it made me really refocus on what I should, it made me reanalyze what I should be focusing on because there was a moment after the one show. So it was me, Robbie, and this dude, Howie Dewey. I don't know if you ever met him. Very funny dude from New York. And they both, I know Robbie went to school for finance. I think Howie went to school for finance. And I like to fancy myself as a man who knows things.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there listening to them talking about finance and where the country's going and all this and that. And I was sitting there like, damn, I have never been able to contribute to a conversation less. You know, and it makes you realize like I'm not a dumb guy, but I know what the fuck I don't know. And it made me. And here's my thing. Like I like talking about politics and the state of the world and things like that. But like sitting there listening to them, like actually having a real conversation about financial markets and stuff like that, I was like, hey, maybe we put more focus into hardcore music because that's the thing you're good at. This shit.
Yeah, you guys like Conor McGregor?
That's if you were in the fucking room. I was like, what's your take on Kublai Khan?
You guys like circles and knives?
But no, but
guys,
also,
what do you call that circle and a knife?
well, there was a. Do your knives have any circles in it? Yo, I have a new merch purchase I need to update you on. Speaking of circles and knives, but no, it was just this like, cause like I think I get insecure cause I'm like, there's a bunch of this stuff in the context of like politics and the state of the world that I should be up on. And then when I hear people who actually know about that stuff, I go, you know what? You stay in your lane. Cause it's not that I'm like bad about politics per se. It's just when you get deep into those lanes that they're in, I was like, I'm just hearing them talk like I'm never gonna figure this out. So why don't you just figure out your lane and just crush it in that fucking lane?
It's the same way. Yeah, it's the same way when I started, like when I was involved. It's actually, you know what? I found out it's kind of the same way I got disheartened with like wrestling after a while. Like when I was younger, I kind of liked the fact that the mystique of wrestling of not knowing what was real and what was fake. But like when it became so predictable after a while and became so like I guess not like in the sense that it was like I know that like I'm going to be disappointed in the end. Like there's going to be a twist. Like when I kind of realized like there was going to be like a soap opera angle to everything. It was ongoing like that. And I kind of got like me as a fan, I was just like, yeah, that's not really for me. Like I would love a determined ending. You know what I mean? Like, so.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was like listening to it like, oh yeah, you might just not like wrestling.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. It's like
as a regular viewer.
Right. So like, I kind of got the same way with politics. Like once I found out that like it always when both sides, dude, and I'm not here to sound like some kind of fucking hippie piece of shit, but literally both sides of like both main sides of the argument are incredible hypocrites, and they don't ever acknowledge their own hypocrisy. And you go like, really? Like it's just a fucking game. We're just
Well,
and
so
it feels so much like pro wrestling. So like I felt like why would like much like wrestling, why would I care? Why would I invest my time and like actually care? Because both of me and you are very passionate in our hobbies and our loves, like so much so that like like legitimately we get excited about different kinds of merch that become available
which
and
I
like
got something for you, but I do want to tag up something you just said
but yeah,
where
go ahead.
I realized because you reminded me of something where the like a big when talking about politics there's a big part of the crowd that'll always be like politics are dumb, why should I give a shit? And I go, well, there's a lot of dumb stuff you should give a shit about. It's just I think a lot of people view like if I can promote anything, it could just be everyone doing their best to undermine the political process and the activities of the government. You know what I mean? Because the more you undermine it, the less productive and the less power that they have and shit like that. But
Yeah,
it's also a thing of like I think people get discouraged because they sort of view the traditional way you would like consume and interact in politics, and that's like that stuff's kind of for nerds or people who are kind of like nerdy about that, you know what I mean?
yeah.
And I think there's like I started noticing there's this one dude who I fuck with, his name's Eric July, and he's actually, we were talking about him before, he's in that band Backwards, and then he started his own comic book company, and
Yeah.
now he's a very political guy, but he's doing more good for the world in the fact that he's like, fuck it, I'm just gonna make a comic book company that doesn't do all this like annoying political stuff, and that'll be a better product. And by the sheer existence of that, things will suck less. And that's actually a way to sort of subvert politics without being overtly political. And I like that mindset. And that's like a big thing I realized. And it's what I'm trying to incorporate in the stuff we do, where we can actually, because I view politics as cancer, and you don't
Yeah.
like I view the political process as a bit of a cancer. But here's the thing: you may not like it, but like if you don't deal with a cancer, it takes over you and ruins everything. So that's my sort of compromise to people who go like politics are fucking dumb. I go, I absolutely agree, but dumb shit will kill you at a certain point.
Yeah, that's true.
or dumb shit will ruin your life. And I think we've lulled ourselves in this modern society that we don't have to deal with dumb shit. And it's like, no, that's a part of life. You kind of have to deal with dumb shit. But if you get a little creative, you can be like a dude like Eric July and subverts the system and just makes his own fucking thing that way. And that's kind of the thing that's kind of like the thing I realized this weekend, where I was like, you can make, because like, not to get all heady, but it's like I want to feel like I fucking did something. You know what I mean? I want to feel like I helped, just in a general cosmic sense. I want to feel like I helped, and you don't have to. I feel like you don't have to get involved in the traditional political process to sort of feel like what you did helped things and shit like that. And yeah, that's why I think, that's to bring it back to fucking music, and we will talk about that at some point today. That's why I think that's why I enjoy doing this podcast, because I feel like we help the general vibe be less fucking stupid. And you know what's helping my vibe be a lot less stupid, Pat?
What's that now?
Bro, I don't know if you're fucking ready for this shirt.
I'm not. I'm gonna head out.
You're gonna get out of here?
Yeah. You just go ahead. Just no, I can't say it.
This is the new T-shirt that has been acquired.
Baltimore City Hardcore. You got a fucking End It shirt? Oh my! Did you see End It?
No. I just saw this on Twitter. Whoever Chris Gonzio or whoever the fuck this guy is tweeted it. He might be in End It.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, he might just be in End It, and then he tweeted it saying, "What you know about this?" And then someone posted. So here's the thing. I might have to buy another shirt, because I saw this account here and I clicked on that link, ordered a t-shirt, And then I saw his reply to that. He went, "No, what the fuck?" And I go, "Shit, did I just buy a fucking bootleg?" So, and then I go to the fucking, and you know what? I don't want to really show the website because I don't want to, if it is like a fucking bootleg, I don't want to promote it. But
Yeah.
I go to this website and I buy the shirt. And then the next thing I realize, I look on the website and it just has things that no t-shirt website has. It'll be like, you could pick whatever option of color you want, or you could pick the shirt on, a t-shirt, or you could have it on a hoodie or a crew neck. And I'm like, wait, this doesn't make any, oh, God damn it. I just bought a bootleg shirt. So I owe End It my actual money down the line when they put out because I looked at their store. They don't have a lot of merch and stuff for sale because I think they probably do like small batch shit, but I realized I ordered a bootleg End It shirt, so I do owe them fucking money.
Do you wear this to the like if you get to see them live, do you wear this to the show, have them sign it and like tell them the story, but also be like, hey, but I bought a shirt, or even 2 shirts, you know what I mean?
I think I go around, I wear the shirt. If I get called out, I go. I bought like fucking 2 shirts. Yeah. I made up for it.
Made it right.
I made it right.
The initial one, but also I got another one. I tell you what, speaking on the merch train that we're talking about, but either way, you got that shirt. That shirt's coming.
The shirt's on its way. I ordered it. I was in bed chilling this morning, and I ordered that shirt.
Okay, so perfect, fine. I totally approve of that. That's a good decision. I think that band that I was telling you about, that I was saying is probably my new favorite band, or one of my new favorite bands. I don't think I've had this. Tell me if you've had this recently, where you went from discovering a band, like finding out like, wow, they scratch all of my itches. You know what I mean? Like they have a little bit of Fall of Troy. They got a little bit of like almost like Muse. They have like weird like
Is this the band you sent me?
Yeah. But not only that, but also talk about merch. They're going to be playing in Mechanicsburg, I think in November. Like it's like soon, and I'm probably gonna fucking spend the whole house on on merch there, because their imagery, their fucking sound. What was it? What was the name again? I got it right here. But I wanted to look up the merch with you because I wanted to get your opinion of it.
All right.
Hold on. What's their name?
Shout out Aaron in the chat, by the way. He said, "Hey guys, what's up? How you guys doing? We're doing fucking good."
Hey Aaron.
And also, I don't know if you heard about this. He said, "What do you guys think about CJ getting kicked out of Thy Art Is Murder and being replaced on the new album?" I don't know. Pat, did you hear about this?
I hadn't heard. No, when did that happen?
Yeah, actually pretty recently. So apparently the lead singer of Thy Art Is Murder, he put out some what the fuck was, I'm trying to, I hate these fucking, I'm trying to like look through these articles, and they do this all the time where you're trying to look up, oh, a dude got let go because of things he said, and it's like, okay, so what did he say? And you're like, we didn't really like put that in the article.
Yeah. Yeah, like who?
But yeah, he apparently said he apparently said things about trans people that people didn't like. And I will say this, how do I say this without people getting the most retarded? I don't get on the whole like trans bandwagon the way people say. I have no personal problem with trans people. I've said it many times before. I follow a few online, and they make me very confused in a good way.
Yeah.
I'm pro looking at that and feeling good about it.
I'm just straight up against him. I just hate him. Oh no.
Oh, good, Pat. Thank God you're the hotter tamale in this one.
I wanted to. We got a good cop, bad cop this thing, or we're not going to get any views. So
fair enough.
I guess I hate him. and their ways.
No, I have no problem if you want to live your life. I think you should not be pushing that shit on kids. That's definitely not good.
Now,
There's a
this
lot
is
of
where we differ, Andy. I feel I think you should push everything and everything in on
every
push the
single
kids.
thing should be pushed on a kid.
push it in them. Get it in there.
All right, Pat.
Knowledge.
I might,
Andy, what are you
I might
talking
have to kick you. I might have to kick you out of this band and take your vocals off the album too. But no. So yeah, that's my general thing about trans. You know, they're a little pushy. I'll say that much. They're a little pushy about their thing. But either way, but I will say this: I did see some screen. Here's my thing: you can disagree.
Yeah.
You can disagree with a certain thing, but there's also a way to talk about it. And he was being an extra hot tamale, saying some aggressive ass shit. But I will say this though. Like, you know, I always joked, like, you know, being on the podcast with like fucking Nate and Lemaire, you know, Lemaire has a tendency to be a fucking wild boy and doing this and doing that. It's like, I could definitely see Lemaire one night getting a little fucking worked up and saying some shit that you're almost just like, dude, what the fuck? But at the end of the day, he's my fucking guy, so I got his back. I don't fucking give a shit. You know what I mean? Like, so that's kind of my thing with like Thy Art Is Murder. Is it's like it's just hard. I get how it's hard for them, but at the end of the day, I feel like you got to stand behind your dude and almost be like, you know, in private, go like, dude, calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because here's the reality of the situation. When you're talking about a more risque subject, or not even like it shouldn't be, in my opinion, a risque subject, but when you know it's a subject that will have a big reaction from a lot of people, it's like, yo, dude, and especially when you're in fucking music where they're super sensitive to that shit, it's like, dog, I get it. It's fucking sucks, but this is the reality. And it's like, there's certain topics you need to be a little more. I would never tell someone that they can't say anything. I think that, you know, freedom of speech is very important. I think that's fucking bullshit.
You just told me to stop saying all that stuff about pushing stuff in kids.
Oh, because that's illegal.
Illegal stuff. Don't do that.
I didn't clarify. I don't promote pedophilia.
I'm getting it now. It now.
But here's the thing. I'll stand behind you because, hey, man, whoopsie daisies happen.
Dude, I honestly, but in the same sense that like you were saying, like, I don't really give a shit. Like, I don't give a shit about, like, you don't have to, like, it doesn't matter to me. Don't push it on anybody. Don't force anybody to do it. But also, but that's in both sides. That's both sides of it. Like, just the same way, like, I don't really give a shit about, you know, how you identify, or if you're poly or trans or anything like that. I also don't give a shit if you are against people sharing bathrooms. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really give a shit in that sense of like, of if it comes unprompted like that, you know, like, again, it's 2023, you know, the sensitive topics. You can share your opinion and everything like that, but like, legitimately, there are opinions that are shared that are viewed as, you know, let's say, not the best. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, especially when you're like, when you're just targeting a thing. Like, again, it's like most religions. I don't give a shit if you're just doing your religion thing, but most religions like have to bring up the fact that the other religions are wrong. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's just like, well, why don't you just do your religion thing and not worry about the other guys and have to point out why other people are wrong, and just do your fucking thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's the thing. It's like, in this case, I don't even know the statements, and I feel like I feel like I'm what is it?
Here, I'll say this
in a box in my head, but I don't even know what he said.
You don't need to know what he said. I'll say this is what the statements were. It'd be something that like he was clearly being emotional, and it would be something that you would like. For me, like I said, if I saw fucking like Lemaire and Nate tweeting like that, it would be a thing that I would have the reaction where I'd be like, let's calm down, a little bit, but I wouldn't fucking bail on them. I don't know, maybe it's a little bit different because some of these bands probably are
album? That's crazy. Take him off the album.
well, we'll get to that. But no, like I get it. Some of these bands are more business relationships than they are just like friends just trying to fucking do the damn thing. So I could see like it happened with the fucking Offspring's drummer, which was fucking crazy. Did you hear about that one?
No. Wow. What the fuck happened with him?
So they had all the when COVID was in full swing, they had all these like vaccine mandates with a lot of these companies doing the shows, and the drummer was legit like, I have a like rare heart condition, and my doctor has told me very clearly like, don't get the vaccine, it might kill you because of his like rare heart condition and shit like that. And the band was like, well, no, you have to get it or we won't be around you. And it's like, dude, what the fuck, like. Yeah, and which, you know, that's super punk rock. You know, kicking out your band member because he won't follow government mandates. That's super punk rock.
They did the song to help people get vaccines, like, or just to like convince people to get vaccines. You remember that? It was like, you gotta get them vaccinated. Like they literally did that song.
No, yeah, Pat, I already said they were being really fucking gay. I already said that.
I mean, but that's like, I thought that's what you were about to tell me. The drummer didn't want to do that song, but the drummer said, hey, my doctor said if I get this thing, I could die. And they're like, well, yeah, fuck you.
Yeah. Like, and you know what was crazy? You know what was fucking crazy is like they were doing... I heard the drummer in an interview. He was like saying, he's like, I talked to a lot of people in bands. He's like, those venues weren't really checking your vax cards like that. No. You know, it's like they weren't really checking them. And on top of that, you know, like the vaccine mandates, now they weren't technically implement, or I guess it was they were like at government jobs they were doing it, but in the private businesses, they weren't technically implemented, but there was like aggressive pressure and shit like that. So, but then after a certain point, they just let up and they stop pressuring they stop, you know, it doesn't make it less fucked up, but they eventually stop pressuring the vaccine mandates and shit like that. And so, like, and that was only over the course of like at most a year. So like literally, like the Offspring could have literally just hired a vaccinated drummer for a year and then brought their old drummer back when they lifted it was like the craziest, most knee-jerk fucking pussy move I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's crazy. So there, I mean, no matter what, there maybe, so we don't know as far as this guy in, you says It Dies Today. Like
Thy Art is Murder.
What is it?
Thy Art is Murder.
Excuse me. The fact that like that this person, I don't know their relationship with the rest of the band, but maybe, you know, like how Papa John's was throwing out those N-bombs and they're like, fine, you know, let's get them the fuck out of here kind of thing. Like there's a because again, this probably wasn't overnight. This probably wasn't like all of a sudden he just has these thoughts, but like you said, sharing them or sharing these particular thoughts. Again, I don't know what his thoughts are that he shared or whatever it was, but obviously they're damning enough that I don't think they were just formulated overnight. It wasn't like all of a sudden, you know, they
definitely don't
already.
They definitely don't give a fuck. So, it's just, it's
so like stand behind your bro, but like this guy may not have been their bro. He may have been. That's the point I was trying to say. Is like he's probably been a guy that has gone on a couple rants at practice a couple times, and everybody's like, geez,
see, Christ. Here's my thing. I don't even think it's that. I literally just think they go. Because I think these bands are in a weird spot because they make a living, but also they don't make a shit ton of money, and they've been in the band for a really long time, or they've just been doing music for a really long time, so their ability to like make money is at jeopardy. So I think these guys get scared and they see this, and with the current state of how music fans are, like this will fucking like will ruin the guy. So I think the band gets scared and they just say, fuck it, kick him the fuck out of the band. I guarantee you the other guys in the band, while they might not be as fucking spicy as this dude is online, I highly doubt they're that different than him. Like, you don't get a lot, like, you get the occasional situation where the fucking, like, have you ever heard the lead singer of Serge Tankian or whatever the fuck you say his name from System of a Down? Him and the drummer actually get into like huge. They're actually hard. It's hard for them to work with each other because they're so diametrically opposed on a lot of issues and shit like that. It's like hard for them to be around each other sometime, which is a big reason System of a Down probably doesn't like do as much shit together and stuff like that. But I think that's like a rarity. I guarantee you this fucking band is more on board with this guy than people fucking think. They're just sitting there going, we might not be able to make money because, you know, everyone's so fucking knee jerk now and shit like that.
Yeah.
But the other crazy thing that they did was they didn't just like kick him out of the band. And this, by the way, it's more of a heightened example of how fucking Dance Gavin Dance are ride or dies, dude. Because like Thy Art is Murdered lead singer fucked up, so they immediately kicked him out of the band, took all of his vocal tracks off the album.
That's crazy.
And got him fucking re-recorded, which that's fucking nuts.
Yeah, that's what makes me feel like there may be something there. But you're right. It could also be just an overcorrection. Maybe, dude, the comparison, I think, to the Offspring drummer is a great one. Like, this could be just a classic overcorrection of like, look, man, if we don't fucking fire you and erase you from this album, we may not sell one album. I mean, already we are not going to sell an album, like, because people don't buy albums anymore.
Yeah.
So we're going to sell, if we want to sell vinyl or merch, or if we want to fucking sell tickets to shows, if we want to sell knives, if we want to sell bootleg shirts, anything, we're going to have to fire you and erase you from our memories, because like that. And again, maybe this is a decision of the band saying, no, we absolutely don't agree with this guy whatsoever. And it's a statement, but it does, I think, to both of us kind of scream overcorrection. And also we want to fucking be on tour still, please. Because Coheed and Cambria, because didn't they just had somebody else for that tour. Like that was
the funniest part. They just hired Alkaline Trio, and I was reading a bunch of comments online, and I feel bad because I like Alkaline Trio, but everyone was like, cool.
Yeah.
People were all right. They haven't been relevant in a really long time. That's pretty sick.
Also, for like Dance Gavin Dance is a natural progression up to Coheed and Cambria. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot of sweet. Like
Alkaline Trio is a weird addition to a Coheed show.
Mellow melodic punk band. You know what I mean? Like they're nice pop punk. Say
it. They are fucking pop punk because they get. I love Alkaline Trio, but they get
emo. They're emo pop.
They get too much credit for their spooky aesthetic, and they're not. Like, if you just,
they're not spooky. By the way, my theory, they're not spooky.
They're lyrically spooky, but they're not. If you took the lyrics out and just listened to the music, they're just a good pop punk band.
Yeah,
Alkaline Trio's pop punk, dude.
They're just pop punk. Not only they're not even, like I said, when you said they're spooky elements, their spooky elements are literally, I'm gonna cut you with a knife, and it's like it's goth or emo. It's not even
I don't
I wouldn't even give it, because spooky to me is like Misfits talking about fucking aliens and the president's head blowing up and shit like that. Like, and I know Alkaline Trio definitely has that vivid imagery too. They do get pretty dark, but for the most part, 95%, 93%, let's just say, of Alkaline Trio is more emo than spooky. Way more. They have spooky imagery, and they get a lot of spooky from that little bit.
And I'd even say Alkaline Trio might be a pop punk band, dude.
They are without doubt a pop punk band.
So Aaron also commented this, which this is very hilarious to me. Ronnie Radke is calling for a boycott of Thy Art Is Murder, which that's hilarious. I don't even get that mad at Ronnie Radke because one, he's never really said anything that like offends me. He's more just a fucking like don't get me wrong, he makes some interesting music. He seems like a nice enough guy, but he just has these moments where he like gets in his feelings and he becomes like an emotional jerk off, and has said some pretty aggressive shit to people, which fine enough. It's just when you start clutching your pearls, but you're also the person being a fucking hot tamale online half the fucking time. That shit cracks me up. So I have the article up here. I'm trying to okay, here it is. I'm trying to see what he was saying. He goes, it's time to stand the fuck up and boycott this shit. Wait. He's not even good at fucking typing. It's time to stand the fuck up and boycott this shit. Boycott Thy Art Is Murder. I will send $20,000 to CJ right now. Tired of these spineless cowards bending to this shit, ruining people's lives. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, he's shitting on the band.
Yeah.
Well, damn, my apologies, Mr. Radke. He's actually being a fucking real motherfucker. Okay.
But this could also, I mean, really, this I don't think this is going to make that much of a difference. Like, this is just only going to motivate people to do what they were already going to do. You know what I'm saying? Like they're going to be like, either they're people that are going to say like, no, fuck you. We want to support the band because we support their decision. We're going to buy the record. If they don't support the decision and they're on this guy's side, then they're going to be like, all right, we're going to not buy it. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you boycott a band?
What?
How do you boycott a band?
You just don't listen to them.
All right. Well, I'm doing that a lot right now, unfortunately. I'm boycotting a lot of bands right now.
Well, no, you just you go from listening to them to not listening to them. What do you mean? How do you boycott a band? It's actually pretty fucking easy. You don't do things that give them money.
But I mean, to be honest with you, I do that a lot already. Again, still, like I stream their music. I don't really. I feel like I'm a bad music fan now. I was a way better music fan when I was younger. I'm a bad music fan now.
But Pat, you get what I'm saying. It's actually incredibly easy to boycott a band.
I know what you're talking about, but I'm saying that I don't know how much I actually give money wise to bands anymore day to day. Like it used to be. I used to go to shows weekly, but I don't do that anymore. I can't. It reminds me of one of my favorite quotes. You cannot consider yourself a peaceful person unless you know how to fight. So like you can't actually I'm not actually boycotting anything. I can't boycott them because I can just go like, all right, well, I'm going to unfollow them on Spotify.
You know he's not you know he's not just talking to you, right?
Yeah, I know that.
He's talking to people who like
also he's going to give that guy $20,000. Cool. Like
really?
Also, okay, is cool, but like also like, hey, I need a lot more than that. But
I don't know, dude. If I just got kicked out of my band, I'll take anything that any fucking rich dude's throwing out there.
I have a job in a band. Do you have a job in a band that pays that much? Monthly or something like that. I don't know.
Sorry, you make me laugh so much. You're like, how am I gonna boycott? Well, no, it's more for people who
I'm telling
fuck with the band.
Yeah. I guess you're right. Like, but I'm saying like boycotts in sport, like a lot of times in sports when they people get angry with a team or they say they're boycotting a team, the only way they can ever like show it is by like burning the shit that they already bought. Or buying it to burn it or something like that. Like I understand,
that's not true,
but I understand going forward, they wouldn't like continue to go to the to contribute to anything like that. But what the point I was trying to make to you was, I don't know how often do people actually contribute to bands really anymore. Like nobody really buys albums that much anymore. You buy
see them live. You go buy their merch.
Right. I just
don't do that.
Yeah, I
That's how you boycott the band, is you do those things that you normally would have done to make them money, and you don't do those things. It's like when people were mad at Target or Bud Light. They just stopped going to Target and they stopped buying Bud Light.
Right.
You stop doing things that make the band money. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, you just kept saying, you're like, how do you even boycott a band? I was like, it's incredibly easy.
Yeah, and then I tried to make a pithy
don't ever get pithy around me. Don't ever get fucking pithy around. That was crazy.
I tried to bring light to the fact of how shitty of a music fan I am, and I don't think I contribute any money to them anyway. So me saying I'm boycotting you really just means me saying I'm boycotting you.
So you did think he was talking to specifically you.
Yes. Yep. You got me.
But that's what you did. I'm being funny, but that is what you did.
I was trying to be funny, dickhead. I was doing it as saying I was bringing that point up. I was saying.
I think you're backpedaling. I think you're backpedaling. How many donuts have you had today? You're off. You're off today. New mic, no donuts. You're off today, dude. Yeah, well, let's go, dude. You probably would have been way calmer an hour earlier.
Yeah.
You probably would have gotten a lot less piss an hour earlier. Pat, are you mad? Damn, you're about to boycott me.
Yeah. I don't know how to do it, though.
Pat, don't be mad at me. He also said this. He was going, why is everyone in this music scene so scared to stand up for each other, grow some balls, or is that transphobic too? Thy Art is Murder is super... Oh, this one made me laugh. He goes, Thy Art is Murder is super satanic, murderous, evil band that is also not transphobic. They really want you all to know they love Satan and murder, but hate bigotry. That is a funny thing. That is a funny thing when you see like metal bands going like, we don't put up with this type of behavior. Also, here's our song, Kill a Virgin the first chance you see them. You know, it's like, it is a weird dichotomy you get with these... You get with metal bands trying to be like the do-gooders of society and shit like that, and it's like, you guys talk about murder.
It feels like a fourth wall breaking. Do you know what I'm saying? Like they're saying we're all understanding when you say let's fuck this place up. You don't actually mean, you don't want us to destroy the venue because like you would get in big trouble for that, or we wouldn't have a place to see shows anymore. It's in the spirit. It's not the law. You know what I mean? Like it's not the letter of the law, it's the spirit of the law, not the letter of the law. So it's like basically it's like them saying like you're gonna say you want us to believe that you're crazy, evil Satanists, and that you believe this, but then also like, hey, leave that kid alone. I mean? Like, hey, buddy, yeah, you there, you dickhead, you better get. Hey, security, get him out of here. It was my biggest problem. Like I always told you about, like Pennywise saying like fuck authority, fuck these guys, but then like if somebody got on stage, security would like sweep them right off. Like, what are you doing? Yeah, fuck authority, except for these guys in the yellow shirts that are gonna protect our shit. I
will not to be the way I am, but I will say with the people getting on stage, I do think like it's chill when you let the guys go on stage, but it's like, with I always go back to like Dimebag Darrell, or wait, is that who it was? Dimebag Darrell. Yeah, I always go back to that, and I'm like, bro, get on stage. Like if you're at a hardcore show and the vibe is jump on stage and jump off, get on stage, but just know, like if you go on stage, there is a justified person that will fuck your shit up. Or there's a chance that someone will justifiably fuck your shit up. But I get what you're saying, where it is like this band where you like, if you're a band that stands for chaos, and then you're like, all right, guys, let's behave, or whatever the fuck. You're like,
total chaos. Yeah, literally total chaos. We had to show our tickets at the door at the Total Chaos show. Like every time I was there, I was just like, dude, I was such a cunty little fucking dickhead at the Total Chaos show, because every single time.
Oh, you literally mean the band Total Chaos?
Yeah, I was going to see Total Chaos, and I love Total Chaos, but the whole time I'm like, I got my ticket to Total Chaos. I'm here standing in line waiting to get into Total Chaos, and then I'm gonna go in here in Total Chaos and wait to use my debit card to buy a couple beers at Total Chaos. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, it's Anarchy, $25 for a shirt. I'll take one. Do you have an extra large? Like, it wasn't Total Chaos. It wasn't and then all of a sudden, air raid sirens. And I was just like, the whole time rolling my eyes. But I love Total Chaos, but the whole time I'm like, guys, stop. It's just some chaos, a little chaos. A little chaos. How about that?
When did you go see Total Chaos?
I was probably 19 or something, like pure, like prime cunty years. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like
were you a big boy? Were you a big boy then? Because knowing your history, you going up to the merch booth and ordering an XL or asking for an XL, that's a bit Total Chaos, dude.
But honestly, to be honest with you, at that time, there wasn't a lot of bands that like would carry a 2X, except for Guar was always had my heart because they always had 2Xs, or like older bands. I feel like older bands would always have 2Xs, but most punk bands, for the most part, would not have. Bad Brains didn't have 2X. Propaganda didn't have 2X. There's a couple. H2O never had 2X.
That's crazy. I think with the way hardcore music is now, you start seeing a lot more 2Xs because I think most hardcore bands are realizing like there's a lot of big boys out there, and on top of that, I think like tight clothes aren't as popular anymore. It's like way more. I've been noticing that it's way more chill to wear baggy shit, which I like. I'm a freewheeling and dealing 3X. I'm getting comfy. And when shit's not tight all the time, it actually just looks better on you. So I'm an unapologetic 3X. You want to see some Total Chaos, Pat?
Yeah, please. Finally, I've been waiting for it.
Because here's the thing. We like to do a segment called Pit Police, but I don't know if pit police are allowed in this venue because this is pure anarchy. This recently purchased bootleg T-shirt of band End It was playing, and bro, it is a 15-second clip, and I'm gonna put money on you will not expect what's about to happen.
I am very excited to find out. I have no idea. I have not seen this before, so I'm very. Usually, you're like, oh, I've seen this.
No, and I'll trust you. Here, just guess in your head what's about to happen, and I'll honor system. Like, you'll tell me if it's even close.
Do you want me to reveal it, or do you want me to just have it in my head?
You know what? Hit me with it. Just tell me what you think's about to happen.
I think there's going to be something with a stage diver, but I feel like the stage dive. I feel like a drop kick, maybe a drop kick.
Okay, all right. Pat thinks a drop kick. Let's see what happens.
Somewhere along the way.
It was not a drop kick. It was a full-size folding table.
They went Dudley Boys. What? I mean, who are they 3Ding through that table?
I don't know, dude. I think they're trying to find a Spike Dudley at this venue.
Dude, that's awesome. I honestly thought I thought like that. Oh, my first instinct was just to say, oh, he better not turn his back to the audience. Like for some reason, I thought something bad was going to happen to the band. But that was pleasantly surprising.
And wait, I want to run it back one more time. Watch how unaffected the band is by it.
Yeah. Yeah, not even like a, oh shit, is that a fucking table?
Not even one person going, hey guys.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. I just realized it. They shared the video.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, look. I just realized it's their Twitter account. They shared the video like, yes, dude, throw tables at our shows. Dude, I'm telling you, if I was at the show and I was, I was a good old my good old 8 Miller Lights in, and I saw someone just throwing a table, I would just be like, "Oh, it's like that tonight," and just
We're doing
fucking let's
tables?
go. We're doing tables. Those are the rules for the evening.
Dude, I honestly I don't even know, but none of that was at the Total Chaos show. None of that. There was
Not one table.
not even one goddamn table.
Here's an alternate angle. See the table? It comes in quick. I wanted to stop it. You see
Yeah.
the table?
Oh, it dropped. Okay, because I was like, is this like an ongoing thing that they had going for most of the show, or is this the?
Dude, I would love it to find out too if, like, dude, legit, because the pit's big enough. Someone could have hit a fucking 3D that night, man.
Yeah, absolutely. The stage was the perfect height that if you would have been able, somebody stood up there, they could have jumped off. Like that's like a second rope height, right? Like that wasn't like it's not super duper high or anything like that, but that's like second rope height. Maybe
Well,
maybe
dude,
a little.
you could jump off the stage, but if you have enough coordination, like I remember one time I was at my job when I used to work at Uline, and me in the UPS department, you'd be working on the line, and you'd have your station, and you'd have your boy right across from you. And whenever I remember we were talking about wrestling all day, and we were talking about Dudley Boys, and I had this package I made where it was like super long. So I go to my buddy across from me and I throw up the package and I just go 3D, and then he just knew what to fucking do.
Yeah.
I feel like you could lock in with someone that night and just find the perfect person to hit a 3D with you.
Dude, they do it at Buffalo Bills games. Like they do it out in the parking lot at Buffalo Bills games. Why not do it? Bring it into fucking in hardcore music. Why not? Why not? Jump up on a
For
little
real.
scaffolding. Like the Chariot definitely set up a lot of ECW style stunts. Like that, if they would have just followed through with it, there's plenty of times where they could have jumped off the scaffolding through a table if somebody set it up in the pit. Can you imagine that?
You don't realize what you just fucking unearthed. Like bringing ECW into fucking hardcore shows.
Yeah.
So like, dude, like we've seen it before, and I know some people are gonna say that's not safe. People will get hurt. Exactly.
Yeah.
But for legal reasons, don't ever do that shit.
Yeah,
I want to make it.
Superhuman.
I want to make it very clear for you guys. I do not want you to do that shit. But no.
Yeah, let's just make sure that we're clear. Andy and myself would never ask you to do that shit.
It would be irresponsible of us to tell you to bring a fucking table and other implements to a hardcore show and act out ECW shit.
If you go to see Better Lovers, set up a fucking folding chair, set up a couple fucking tables on top of each other,
have a full hardcore match,
and have a hardcore match. But try to slam somebody through 2 tables at once. What's gonna happen? You're gonna crack your hip? Who gives a fuck?
There is actually, dude, there's a rapper who does a fucking, I just remembered this. Fuck, I gotta look it up.
Action Bronson.
No. He will fucking pop up powerbomb guys, but he legitimately gets mad when people run on stage.
Really? That's crazy. That's crazy that he would I feel like what he does is almost directly not what's it called? I feel like he's an enabler. He enables that behavior, and by like slamming it, making it fun for everybody. If he truly hates it, why wouldn't he just like shoot everybody?
Just shoot him
or have them shot. I mean, I don't know. Like he's a rich guy. He's in New York.
That's an idea. No, that's an idea. If people in the audience don't do what you want, you just shoot them in the chest. I don't hate that idea, Pat.
I didn't say the chest. You said the chest. I mean, I was thinking maybe hit like under the waist, below the waist, maybe dick.
Oh, you're one of those guys who goes, "Why doesn't cops just shoot people in the leg?"
No, I say, why don't they shoot him in the dick?
Why don't we have more dick shots?
I want him to be more skilled.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the video. Yeah. Apparently there's this rapper Duke Deuce, and it was funny. Because I think Nate sent the group chat this video, and he was like, "Oh shit!" And then I looked it up a bunch, and I'm like, "Oh, this is just a thing he does at his show."
Man, what the fuck wrong with this nigga, man? Hey, get your
Yeah,
ass
it's
from
different
up here.
language.
Fuck that bitch ass, nigga. Bitch ass. Get your ass away from up here. Fuck going on?
Hey, bro, get your bitch ass
Fuck
off my
your
stage,
Get your
nigga.
ass away from up here.
What?
I like that. I support that.
Yeah. We fucking up this thing.
That's one of those things where, like, until it happens, you're like, oh, that's clearly this is a terrible thing that's happening, and then you're like, that was wrestling. We're having fun. We're having a good time. No,
Bro,
like, that's
yeah,
what I like that.
that's awesome, dude. More 3Ds at shows.
Yeah, honestly, more if we could. Like, I feel like I'm down. I don't know if either. I mean, I know you could lift me, but like asking me to run up into your arms like that would be a little bit much. So we need to set somebody up that we can pick up. That we can either I'll pick somebody up and you 3D him, or you pick somebody up and I'll 3D him.
I feel like the 3D is not crazy. Like even if you have a heavy boy, I feel
Yeah.
like the 3D isn't crazy to hit.
But
Like
how,
you just
how
need
crazy
you just need someone to like go through the motions. You know what
But
I mean?
how crazy would it be for you to just pop an MCL or just fucking your knee to just blow out because you were 3Ding one of your buddies at a drain show?
Nah, dude, I'm watching it right now.
Now that I say it, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be just like saying that sentence out loud.
Yeah, I had to. Sometimes you just got to work it out. Sometimes you
Actually,
gotta-
wait, WWE's fucking hardcore about taking stuff down, so I'm not gonna pull that up actually. But no, I'm watching the videos. The 3D is literally like someone comes running at you. They like put their
jump.
hands on your shoulder and you lift them up, and then the other person on the other side of you brings them down. It's not like if we figured out the move and you or me were running at one another, we would just have to go through the motions. It wouldn't be crazy.
Let's do it. Let's start doing it to people that aren't expecting it though.
You want just 3D strangers?
3D people for real, like actual real people, like ladies, anybody that's in the pit. It doesn't matter.
That's really funny too, because I saw this video where I guess Randy Orton, you know Randy Orton, he does the RKO.
Yeah.
He was at like his kid's basketball game, and then these kids who were there realized he was there. So in front of Randy Orton, dude, the Twitter account I saw it on, it was like one of those like big like fucking meme accounts or whatever, or it was like one of those sports accounts that just shares a bunch of like trending sports videos every fucking day, and they're like these kids are fucking hilarious. They hit the RKO right in front of Randy Orton, and then you watch the video and they hit it. By the way, you know, I'm not too proud to fucking shit on some children. They had horrible form. Just horrible form. They definitely just watched the video before they did it to figure it out. They didn't know what the fuck they were doing. Terrible form. And then they just hit it, and then the camera goes right to Randy Orton, and he just has this face on him. He's just like, yeah, it's the move I do. Cool guys. Like, did not give a shit.
Wrestling, right? Anyway, gotta go.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah,
What does RKO stand for? I've always wondered this. I honestly don't know. Do you know?
I don't know actually.
Isn't it also like? Isn't that his? I always thought it was his initials. Is it his initials,
You know what? It might be
or is it Real Knockout or something like that? I remember I always got pissed off.
Randy. Wait, this sucks ass. Oh yeah, no, it is. No. You were right. The first thing that pops up says RKO Randy's Knockout. That sucks. But
That sucks.
this other one, according to fandom.com, it stands for Real Knockout.
That's not. That's
not better.
No, it's better, but it's not way better. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like good. It's still not good. Yeah, I feel like there was you remember Mark Marrow? He was like a boxing wrestling man. He was the one that kind of when Sable became really popular, she was his bitch. So they used to go out. He was a boxing man, and his move was the TKO, and I was like, oh
Okay.
yeah, I was like technical knockout because that's what it is in boxing. They're like, no, total knockout,
Ooh.
and I was just like, ugh, ew,
Here-
yucky.
Can I tell you what your problem is, Pat?
I expected something from wrestling.
No. Your problem it's completely fine to expect stuff from wrestling. It pays off quite often. No, your problem is you know about fighting.
Yeah,
Wrestling is for people who like fighting who don't know anything about fighting. you find dude, I swear, like people like me and Lemaire, and you even said you were joking, but you still like wrestling. It's just
yeah,
you don't
yeah. I get it.
people like you, me, and Lemaire are the very rare case of people who like wrestling and enjoy MMA. It's either one or the other. Most people who like MMA or boxing look at wrestling like this is the stupidest shit ever. And then most people who like wrestling, they'll look at MMA and go, "Oh, you're saying our thing's gay? That's pretty gay." You know, it's like there's not. That's why what was the deal where the deal where WWE and MMA are under like the same company now?
Yeah, it's Titan Sports, I think it is, or something like that. It's called now.
No, it's something else. Because
Yeah.
I think they were Titan back in the day. But either way, I was like, that's an interesting deal to make because I feel like the MMA and the wrestling crossover is a very small sect of people. Because I've been noticing it in wrestling. People are starting to get kind of like bored of the MMA fighters coming over and all that shit because it's just, you know, it's like a gimmicky thing and they don't really know how to do it half the time. Like I got no personal beef with Tyson Fury, but I'll be honest, him and Brock Lesnar was one of the worst wrestling matches I've ever seen. Like it was awful. You know, and it's nothing personal. It's just you can't, you know, they take these dudes who've never wrestled, give them a little bit of training and put them on some of the biggest pay-per-views ever. They're not going to be good.
They're actually called
I think-
TKO Group Holdings. It's funny.
Hell yeah. So I got one more video I wanted to show you, Pat. I was very curious about your perspective on it. It was going around music Twitter a bunch over the past couple days. It was this clip, and it's actually an old interview. But it's this clip from an interview that Rick Rubin did with 60 Minutes, and he's basically, you know what? I'll just let the clip play. A lot of people were getting mad. A lot of people were like, what's the big fucking deal? It's a pretty 50-50 split on the reaction to this clip. So this is Rick Rubin from a 60 Minutes.
Do you play instruments?
Barely.
Do you know how to work a soundboard?
No. I have no technical ability, and I know nothing about music.
You must know something.
Well, I know what I like and what I don't like, and I'm decisive about what I like and what I don't like.
So what are you being paid for?
The confidence that I have in my taste and my ability to express what I feel has proven helpful for artists.
So that was the clip. And you can even see here, whoever Patrick Pryor is, he tweets this and he goes, always thought he was a fraud. So a lot of people were mixed about that. I was not upset about it because it's like if people didn't see value in Rick Rubin being in the room, then they wouldn't pay Rick Rubin a bunch of money because that's kind of how it works. People are like, hey, we want Rick Rubin. Rick Rubin goes, it's this much fucking money. And then they have to decide, do we want it or do we not want it? And and also too, I don't know. I just like I get it. I get the knee-jerk reaction to being annoyed about that, but I was like, there is something to it. Like if you just have someone with a good ear and they don't need to necessarily know music, but if they go like, "Oh, what if at the one part you did the fucking this and did the fucking that?" It's like, I don't know. I don't like pray at the altar of Rick Rubin or anything, but also at the same time, I've heard him in enough interviews. While he is a little hippy dippy for my taste, although in my the older I get, the more hippy dippy I become. But he is a little hippy dippy foo foo for my taste. But also at the same time, he comes off as genuine. And like, whether you agree with him or not, he seems like a genuine person. And you mix that with, you know, like a bunch of people hire him. I'm just basically taking all the information and going, he's got to add something to the process if so many people are hiring to do it. But I'm very curious what your take is, because you don't seem convinced.
No, I'll tell you, I think that like a lot of people I think don't understand what a music producer is, because
yeah,
I like Rick Rubin has never been called a engineer. He has never been called a board operator. He's never been called a studio or session musician. He's never been called any of those things. He is a music producer. So a producer is somebody, a producer is someone who makes sure a production goes off without a hitch. So this is a person who is there to facilitate a production. They are giving insight. An executive producer and other producers are somebody who is somebody that offers insight and usually funding and or studio space for a production. So if you have something like that, like Rick Rubin, he is the truest form of a music producer that you have ever seen. Can I ask you a serious question, Andy? Do you think DJ Khaled plays instruments? Do you think he knows how to operate a fucking board?
Yeah.
No. He doesn't fucking edit. He doesn't fucking produce. He doesn't do any of that. He's a music producer.
Yeah.
He goes out there and goes, blah, 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 another one, and does that shit. And just says, yes, that sounds good. No, that doesn't sound good. That is what a producer is. So a producer can do other things. You can have somebody that is more hands-on, that does have more, that can, like Pharrell, that's going to sit there and go like, no, you should go, and then make him look like a fucking dickhead and be like, I can't do that.
But that is a
want to do that? Oh, I can do that. I guess I'll feature if you need me to.
That is a skill, though. Like, if you think about it,
it is.
Like, if you think about it with, that's what I said.
No, Andy, no, you don't understand. It is.
Oh.
No,
well,
but it
thank
is
you for the clarity. No, but if you think about it, like an art director at a museum, like that guy probably doesn't know how to. He doesn't know how to paint or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? He probably doesn't know how to make paintings as good as the fucking Picasso in his goddamn museum. But like, it's his job to like find. What does an art director do? They cultivate all the photos. They set up the museum. So it's a like, as you walk through it, it's a good experience, all that. But it's like, you don't need to. Like, I don't know. I think sometimes, you know, you have a dude who it's like, in a weird way, it's almost, you can see the benefit of him not having a traditional training in music where he could come at it from a more organic place of, because if you think about it, like a dude who's as passionate as Rick Rubin, he's clearly very passionate about music. Like, he wouldn't look like that all the time if he wasn't just hyper focused on fucking music.
Right.
So he's clearly super passionate about music. And, you know, and there is a weird thing. Now, I will say this, a lot of time, I used to do this, and I've heard a bunch of, you hear it a lot in the punk rock music scene where you'll hear these people go like, I try not to listen to too much shit so I don't sound too much like everyone else. And it's like, no. You're very bad at this. You need to listen to fucking everyone so you know what shit sounds like. And then once you learn how everyone else does it, then you can learn how to be your own unique little butterfly. But if you're not, unless you just got the you know, God just fucking touched your dick hole, like, you're not going to be this unique little fucking specimen that just busts out this crazy music no one's ever heard of. You're probably just gonna fucking write horseshit. But also at the same time, if you're a dude like Rick Rubin who's just a fucking music producer and shit like that, you know, you could make the argument him never learning how to play an instrument but being this passionate about music makes him the ultimate music fan. Right. And fans are who you want fans and music listeners are who you want to buy your fucking album. So Rick Rubin is actually probably a really good gauge on if your shit's good or not. Now, can he say play this scale? No, that's why he uses all the money you fucking give him to hire people who know that shit. That's the other part of it. It's like when people try to, and I'm not like a fucking Steve Jobs fanboy, but also at the same time, people always try to shit on Steve Jobs because they're like, he didn't actually fucking figure out the mechanics of the iPhone. It's like, yeah, but there is
Get all those precious metals himself.
he didn't tell all those African children to go into the mines and get his minerals himself.
No shit, stupid.
Yeah, it's like no shit. But there is something to there is something to be the facilitator of the thing. I guarantee you, whatever dickhead worked on the camera of the fucking iPhone, he doesn't have the skill to sell a product the way Steve Jobs did. You know what I mean? Like everyone has skills, and facilitating greatness, you know, facilitating a lot of great people is a fucking skill, man.
What I've learned when I went into production, like I went into school for production like years and years ago. I went into it as somebody who still wanted to be a part of music. And I love recording music and I love doing that. But I think I went in with the thought of like the way that they were teaching it was like, this way you can be all hands-on and you can do this. And I'm like, I never wanted to do that. I always appreciated getting a really good recording and making it sound good with less. You know what I'm saying? Like I always really appreciated the art of capturing a really good sound or doing the most you could with like a setup, because a lot of times it wasn't permanent. A lot of the times when I would record or practice that stuff, it wasn't always the same place, or it was like a shed, or like, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't like the most like pure recording spaces or anything like that. But now I've learned over the years, like since I've gone into different types of production, like there's a lot more. The best producers of shows, music, TVs, any live performance, anything like that, like you don't even know usually who the fuck they are, because they're not as involved. But there's other people that have to, they go into production almost like failed musicians, and they have to make them a part of the art. You know what I'm saying? Like they have to say, oh, I want to feature on this and I want to do this, and maybe I should just do this part. And it's like, why can't you just make them sound good? Because you're not a really good producer, you're just a really good musician.
Bro, can I tell you the funniest version I ever saw of that? And I don't mind shit. I'm not going to say his name, but I don't mind shitting on this guy because he was rude as fuck to me when I was, this guy fucking pissed me the fuck off because I remember, I was in the band with Jay and my brother, and we were like we were doing the band for a while, and then we were getting to a point where we were contemplating, we did one music video, and the guy who did it was a nice guy, but it was garbage. And we were contemplating like doing another music video. And I remember talking to this guy because I know he did production shit and he did video recording. We actually had him record a live show one time and stuff like that. And then I remember this was when he was recording our live show. And I remember walking up to him after the show being like, hey man, because I knew he did a bunch of music videos, and he was like, they were pretty good fucking music videos. And I asked him, I was like, hey man, how much do you charge for your music videos? And he immediately just was like, nah, man. Just like out of the gate was like hit me with this, you don't have enough money for me to pay me. And I was just like, you know, at the time I should have fucking gotten in his face and been like, the fuck did you just say? Or maybe not that, but you know what I mean? But I think I was so thrown off, I just like gave him a fucking look, and then he like walked away. So I do regret that in hindsight and everything, but I just remember I was like, this motherfucker, like, just tell me the number and all. Like, I never understood that, by the way, where it was just like, now here's the thing. I do understand if you have to like set up a quote, and if you take the time to give someone a quote and then they're like, you know, they weren't like a serious person, they weren't a serious person and they don't follow through on that, you wasted some time and that's annoying as shit. But
Yeah.
I know this guy. Like, we're half friends. And I'm literally just like, hey, Ballpark, what do you charge for a fucking music video?
Yeah.
And just to shut, I was just like,
Or
hey,
what can I get for this? Like, legitimately, that's the thing. Is like, I feel like that's another. And this is just my personal opinion, but that's another true like mark of an actual like producer, like a real artistic producer, like somebody like Rick Rubin, who I'm sure has probably done he's done various projects. He's worked with Slayer, he's worked with fucking Red Hot Chili Peppers, he's worked with like hip hop artists, he's worked with what, Run DMC, I think. I mean, like plenty of other, obviously, but I'm just
wait, did
just
he
that
work with
band.
Run DM? Did he work with Run DMC? He definitely worked with the Beastie Boys. He probably
Like
worked
right
with Run
now
DMC.
it's like nowadays it's way more cool to like, you can work with a heavy metal act and a fucking rap act and all this other shit. But back then, like, you wouldn't think that he would be able to get a really good record from like Slayer. But even think Slayer and Red Hot Chili Peppers, like something like that, where you're like, oh yeah, they actually both sound really good. That's crazy. But
He
also
did
to
work
say-
with Run DMC.
but also, and then for him to say like, oh yeah, I don't know how to fucking write rhymes and shit like that. You're the artist, but like, how can I facilitate the
Oh.
best environment for you to make this art, and also like offer my perspective? And like
Yeah.
you said, I think that's the thing, is like being able to step away from that and not act like you know more than the artist.
Can I say this too? One, just freely admitting that and like being that open, that doesn't make you a fraud. It makes you transparent, which most people aren't fucking transparent, so it's better to
Right.
be transparent. Also, like that's what I was saying before. I was just like, it's like you gather in the data and you go, what albums has Rick Rubin produced? Like when you were asking if he was, when we were trying to, or I was trying to figure out if he worked with Run DMC, like I just Googled it. And yeah, it's like, you know, it reminds you, he's worked with groups like the Beastie Boys, Run DMC, LL Cool J, fucking Jay-Z, fucking, like you said, Slayer, Red Hot Chili Peppers. It's this thing of like, it's like, oh, what does he do? I don't know, man. Look at the resume.
Yeah.
The resume's pretty fucking good.
That
He
shit.
does something. He does something, man.
Yeah.
He does fucking something. And here's the thing. People always go, or how do I say this? It's just this thing of like, if someone keeps paying Rick Rubin money to do something, then they are signaling to you that he has value to them.
And you can't say he's a fraud. You can't say he's a fraud if the records that he has produced have become popular because of the way that they sound. Because that he was part of facilitating that. He
Yeah.
did not record it. He did not, what I'm saying? Like, as if you still have to have a knowledge of how the process works. He still has to have a knowledge of how artistry works. Like when you are able to do this stuff, I think to just say like, this is so stupid. This is like saying when people would go like, Tom Brady sucks. Like, you can say you don't like Rick Rubin. You can say that you don't think
It's
the way
always
he
so
does
crazy
things.
when people do that.
You can say, I don't like the way he does. You can even say, I don't like the way he does things. But you cannot say he sucks. And you cannot say that Rick Rubin's method doesn't work. It may not work every single time, but it absolutely works. And if bands are going to him and working with him, and they're not saying he's not a music producer,
Yeah.
if they, I'm sure there's people that he's worked with, they're like, what the fuck are you talking about, you fucking hippie? Get on the board. You know what I mean? Like,
here, I'll get perfect fucking thing. Perfect. Like I'm on his Wikipedia page, and it's just like, let's just go down a few of them. LL Cool J, Run DMC, Public Enemy, Danzig, Slayer, whoever the Junkyard, Andrew Dice Clay,
yeah.
Red Hot Chili Peppers, Nine Inch Nails, AC/DC, Tom Petty, Sir Mix-a-Lot, fucking Jay-Z, Macy Gray, Dixie Chicks, Johnny Cash, U2, Linkin Park, Poison. It's like, I'm getting exhausted how many, like, fucking, it's just like, after a certain point, after a certain point, you read so many popular bands that you go, he's got to do fucking something, guys.
Yeah, there's something there, and also some of the releases that were, I think the one that he did with Slayer was Hell Awaits, or not Hell Awaits, but Rain and Blood. I think. Do you know what I'm saying?
Was it?
Yeah, like do you know what I'm saying? Like it's not like it's just nothing. It's not that it was. So I think that to call him a fraud is really stupid and really short sighted. But like to say you don't like him, that's one thing. But it's my Tom Brady argument. You can't sit there and go he sucks. You can't say he sucks. He doesn't.
Yeah.
Suck. Tom Brady doesn't fucking suck. You stupid asshole. He's way better at that thing than a lot of other people, if not most of them.
And
So,
it's this
fuck
thing
off.
that, yeah, and it's this thing that like less talented people try to do to, or more so, it's like more so less successful people. Because I do think there are more talented people who are less successful, and you know, it does get subjective, but you could definitely have more talented people who are less successful.
Yeah.
But it's a thing that that less successful people do to more successful people, where less successful people, they bank on those predetermined things. It's like when you see comics do the thing where they're like, you know, you have to start your set off like this, and you can't wear shorts on stage, and you have, yeah, you have to do this and that, and then it's like, I don't know, dude. I saw Big J a while ago walk on stage with shorts, a huge fucking bandana in his back pocket, fingerless gloves, and his first joke, he asked if a bunch of these old ladies in the front row were on the local hand job team. Like, that breaks every quote unquote rule of stand-up comedy. And it's like, no, at the end of the day, like, there aren't any rules. The only rule is be funny. And the only rule in music is make good music. So
Right.
a lot of less successful people prescribe these, you know, it's like gatekeeping shit. They subscribe these certain things onto people, and they go, if you don't follow these specific rules, you're not good at it. And then they're saying that to someone who is substantially more successful than them. So it becomes this weird paradox where it's like, you're not successful, guy who's much more successful than me, or it's like, guy who's much more successful than me, you're not doing it right. And it's like, I think you're a little off.
It's probably easier to even think about it, even if you're like a sports fan or something like that. Like you're a producer, is just like a coach. You can have a coach that played, you know, that sport their entire life. And see, that's another thing. You can have people that played that sport their entire life and accomplished nothing in it. And then you can have people that played that sport their entire life, won a bunch of championships, and can't teach that stuff. Like, it's just about finding your place in that sport. It doesn't mean you're right or you're wrong. It's just different methods. There's different coaching methods. So you can have somebody that comes in and doesn't necessarily know every angle of a sport or a way a league is played or anything like that, but can offer perspective that would give more momentum to the team, or just you know what I'm saying? Like there's other things, and there's other ways you can do it. I'm essentially just explaining Ted Lasso now. and he doesn't like tea, and also if he has carbonated water, it spits it out. It's really funny. You should watch it. It's a good show.
You know what? I've had
Great
enough. I see Ted Lasso and I don't get the appeal from the trailer, but I've had enough people tell me to watch it that I will watch it.
It's a fun show.
I wanted to finish. I realized I didn't get. Yeah, I would like to finish on you, Pat. No, I realized I didn't get to finish shitting on that guy who was mean to me in high school. And no, because you were talking about production people interjecting themselves into like the band or the performance experience. This guy, he would tour with this band, and he was their lighting guy, but he would. Well, no, before you make the face, a lot of bands have like lighting guys who control the lights and stuff that go with the band and everything like that. But what he would do is take his little lighting ring and he would put himself on stage next to the band.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
and
you're not another member of the. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And I'm like, dude, that fucking. I remember seeing that, because you know, there's this thing when. You know, I was talking about less successful people, like prescribing rules to more successful people. Now, I've never done that, but in a moment of weakness, have I smiled when a more successful person I didn't like just did the lamest shit ever? I remember fucking after the fucking shit with the like you can't afford me. I remember seeing that and I was just like, good, do that. Everyone will know you fucking suck.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. There's something that's so funny about the lighting guy wanting to be on the stage with the band. It's so much funnier because there's like two jobs that you have to be in the audience with the audience for and in the back. And it's
Oh my
lighting
god, you're so
and sound.
fucking right. I didn't
It's
even
lighting
think about that.
if you're good at your job, you are in the back middle of the crowd because you're right next to the sound guy because you need to see what the fucking lights look like, you dumbass. So if you're on the stage, you're like, I guess the purple one's on now. I guess the blue one's on.
Yo, I didn't even realize that. There's no way you can do a good job on the fucking stage.
What a needy fuck, dude.
Yo, can I show you one last video before we get out of here?
Yeah.
There's this new band and I'm intrigued by their vocalist. So let me get your I'm really curious about your opinion on this guy's vocals.
5 feet 10 inches tall, this mixed martial artist also weighed in 146 pounds. In 17 fights, his record fifth at 5.
Yeah, dude. Bryce Mitchell fucking rules. I'm drinking my Bryce Mitchell themed Keystone Light.
Yeah, dude. The fucking with the camo. Dude, when they
I just wanted to ask
they unleashed a real fucking demon on that guy, man.
I wanted to ask you about Bryce Mitchell because I was seeing him all over. Because if you guys don't know, Pat's a big MMA boy. And were you watching, eating some fucking cookie ice cream and shit?
I will tell you, I have never seen somebody. So there's a level to like beating the shit out of somebody and then making someone so immensely uncomfortable after a fight by ordering your vanquished opponent to pray for his state. And also to acknowledge that the fires in Maui were man-made. He made Dan so fucking uncomfortable. And then he was like, and then Michael Bisping was like, okay, gotta go. And then he was like, wait. He goes, aren't you gonna let Dan pray? And then Dan goes, no, thank you.
Bryce Mitchell fucking rules, dude.
He is the big blonde menace. I don't know what we can call him. He's the red menace. Dude,
he's just a good old boy trying to spread God's word, dude.
I didn't know he had the Bible at the beginning. I knew he had it at the end. I didn't know that. I thought that was a reveal at the end.
There is nothing funnier than holding a Bible up and screaming freedom while they're introing.
Dude, if he wins a UFC title, which I and this is no disrespect to him, I don't know if that necessarily will happen because I think with his free spirit mentality, I think that he is going the Tony Ferguson route where his training methods are becoming a little bit less orthodox. He's becoming like I don't know his training regimen or anything like that, but he lives on a farm. And I think farm strength only goes so far. Ask Matt Hamill. And it does nothing against trains. Also ask Matt Hughes. Sorry, that's he got hit by a train.
By a train. I connected the dots.
He can't. But Bryce Mitchell is he's a wild motherfucker. I'm actually, you know what? I'm glad you brought up Bryce Mitchell because there's a weird thing where I don't understand as an MMA fan, and this is something that happened with being a fan of like Slayer or Slipknot in high school, especially around Columbine times. That really became a little fishy, depending how punk or goth you were, how much of a threat you seemed to pose to people that didn't know anything about the music. So I think that there's a weird like thing with MMA fans now where like it was Kamaru Usman. No, sorry. It was who was the first fighter to lose? It was Aljamain Sterling, Israel Adesanya, and Leon Edwards. That's the welterweight champion, the middleweight champion, and I'm going backwards now. Sorry, bantamweight champion, middleweight champion, and the welterweight champion. All black,
yeah, dude.
guys.
And it's the age of the God-fearing whites, bro.
That's what I'm wondering about. I've seen these checklists where they have Colby Covington in this belt and he's gray. You know, he's like he hasn't been unlocked yet. They had Sean Strickland with Israel Adesanya, and they had Sean O'Malley over Aljamain Sterling. And I'm like, is it because they're white, or is it because they're American? Which one is it, guys? Because I don't know if I feel comfortable liking this post.
Bro, the
I was like-
UFC the UFC is getting overtaken by gas station whites. These
Yeah,
are all
gas
the
station whites are taking over, dude.
dude, fucking the Sheetz parking lot whites are taking over the UFC.
Colby Covington, and you can't tell me they're not in on it, because Colby Covington has not fought in almost 2,000 days, and he's getting a title shot against Leon Edwards.
He fought him before, right?
Leon Edwards? No, I don't think so.
He didn't fight Leon Edwards?
I'm almost certain they have not fought yet.
Oh, my fault. I'm being racist. I'm mixing up the two.
He fought Kamaru Usman twice and lost twice.
I was mixing up who was who in my head.
Well, that's another thing. He's lost the title twice. So I guess what I'm saying is with Bryce Mitchell, with Sean O'Malley, with I don't really necessarily like Sean Strickland that much, but in general, I'm weary of the fan base that is growing. I don't understand exactly what the fan base is or what they're fully behind. But
submit, dude. It's the age of gas station whites. You gotta fucking submit.
Americans. They're American whites. I don't need that fucking bullshit South African Dricus Tublasi coming on here. So I would root for Sean Strickland against him, but then I'm going right back to going like, hey man, you're still on an FBI watch list. I know you are. You fucking weirdo.
Dude, it's so funny. Yeah, thinking about it, like Strickland, fucking Bryce Mitchell, fucking O'Malley, and fucking who's the last guy?
It would be Colby Covington.
That's like that runs the gamut of who you're gonna see outside like a fucking Sheetz. That's just like every strain of fucking conservative MAGA dude.
And get this, the guy who probably would be technically the number one contender at welterweight, Bilal Muhammad, is not getting the title shot. So
it ain't his year. I'm sorry, Muhammad.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's like they're making it too obvious at this point. And with all the weird judging and the fact that they just merged with the WWE, I don't know what's going on. It just feels so kind of weirdly scripted right now. I'm not saying that Sean O'Malley didn't knock Aljamain Sterling out, and I'm not saying that Sean Strickland didn't beat the shit out of Israel Adesanya. Both of those things happened.
There's too many coincidences happening, is what you're saying.
Too many, dude. They made that meme, and it's just happening. Like I'm watching a meme happen real time, and like if Colby Covington wrestle fucks the shit out of Leon Edwards and he gets that goddamn title from him, I'm gonna lose my mind. And not for a good reason. I'm gonna be very concerned.
Damn, wrestle fucks is very funny. All right. Well, I'm glad I got your insight on that. I just
great segment.
I love how
thank God
I gotta give what?
Thank God for a country boy. Isn't that right?
I gotta give props to Dana White. He has definitely set up an environment where dudes are just freewheeling and dealing the shit they want to say, and it's fun as hell. Because here's the thing: like
two F-bombs on the pay-per-view recently. Did we talk
dude,
about that?
Fucking two freezes, dude. There was some
freezes.
hard. Here's my thing. Like, if you watch the UFC is just. Whether you agree with what these guys are saying or not, UFC is inherently more interesting just on the sheer fact that, in any other
NFL player said that. Think about any NFL
that's what
player.
I was getting at.
Yeah.
If any other player in any other league said some shit like that, they'd immediately backpedal it. Like you remember with who is the dude on the fucking Brooklyn Nets who posted the Kyrie Irving thing. That was like a big fucking deal. If someone said that, if someone did that in the UFC and they asked Dana White, he'd be like, shut up, homo.
Yeah, he'd literally say, I don't give a fuck. He would say to the press, I don't give a fuck.
I don't
Like
give a
it's
fuck.
so that's crazy. That is
I think that's good,
absolutely
dude.
something that I love about this company is the fact that for good or bad, he's gonna let. I mean, yeah, dude, he just won the fight. He gets 15 seconds on the mic to say whatever the fuck he wants, and we're gonna broadcast it. And then later on, I'm sure we'll. By the way, I went back because I was watching. Andy, I don't know what you do in your free time, but oftentimes I'll just rewatch old pay-per-views.
I just
So-
play with my Kublai knife.
Well, take it easy.
That's all I do.
But so I was rewatching the one where Dricus du Plessis beat Robert Whitaker, and after the fight, Israel came into the octagon and kept calling him the a soft A, kept giving him my N. You know what I'm saying? And I thought I've seen where they have like censored that, and they have already taken out all of the licensed music, but they left every N bomb. They left every part where he's calling him a bitch and everything. I'm like, yeah, because I mean,
It's weird to censor. It's weird to censor the N word, especially when a black guy's saying it.
no,
at the
that's what I'm saying. They didn't. So
No,
yeah.
no. I'm saying in like if they were to,
Oh.
it like it's like you're at the fight
Yeah,
and
exactly. It's a fight. I think that's ultimately
and the
what-
black guy said the N word. Like that's like he can do that at the fight.
so I
It'd be
think
weird to censor
ultimately-
that.
I think ultimately they kind of go like with the two F bombs. I think just the fact. So this is the craziest part, though, Andy. This is my favorite part. Right, is the fact that since I've been watching UFC since 2005,
Okay.
and I have not seen.
I
Have not seen I'm just saying from my personal viewing, I have not seen this much crazy shit happen. And I think that this has almost exclusively happened since they have been purchased by Disney. So they are a Disney brand that has dropped two F bombs that talked about the Maui fires being man-made, that Satan needs to be taken over because Satan is out here. He wants Dan to pray. He's trying to get the person he just beat up to pray now. Like he's forcing. That was the craziest, most surreal interactions I've seen. Conor McGregor with the wife shit. I'm pretty sure that was post Disney. You know what I'm saying? Like they're owned by Disney, and he's sitting there saying like, "I fucked your wife with a half a leg sticking out of the other leg." You know what I'm saying? Like,
and that's the funniest. That's the funniest thing I've ever heard. Fucking Dustin Poirier say, where he's like, "You don't say that. You don't say that, dude." He's Dustin, dude. Why do I stop watching MMA? I love it. The personalities are so fucking funny.
That's what I'm saying.
Dustin Poirier is the most pleasant, scary man ever. Because he's so nice and pleasant, but he's also like, he can kill you. So he's scary as shit.
He's the closest thing. Like when you watch those like movies where they're like like Liam Neeson, like Taken or some shit. I think him and who's the other guy? Anthony Lionheart Smith are two of the guys that would be like really awesome dads, the best fucking dads in the world, at a picnic with their daughter. And then like somebody goes like he seems some guys like fucking around in like the parking lot near their car and goes over, "Hey gentlemen, what's going on? Like, can I help you with something?" And they're just like, "Yeah, we're trying to sell candy." And they pull guns on him and he just beats the shit out of all of them and kills them. You know what I'm saying? Like
fucking takes their gun. Yeah.
Like in the toughest, like, and can't die kind of thing. Like every character that Jake Gyllenhaal plays, I feel like Dustin Poirier actually is, as well as
there
Anthony
was
Smith.
There was a fucking clip of Dustin Poirier at a parade.
I played that for you. I sent that to you. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like that was the hardest fucking thing to watch because I was like, he can't, like, because they're shooting a video and it's like he can't attack the guy because of that, but it's like it just hurt so much because I was like, oh, this is what's wrong with the modern age. Like, that guy's supposed to get his fucking ass kicked, and that's what keeps the universe balanced. You don't just get to say that in front of a dude's wife.
The best part because it was the guy that was it was some bullshit like Mardi Gras parade or some kind of like New Orleans parade or some shit that Dustin Poirier was in, and like it's not even like a big like big time thing. And maybe it's a big time thing there. I don't know, whatever. And I'm not trying to say that to minimize it. I'm just saying that it's not like he's not in the Macy's Day Parade or anything. But they're going down the street, and this dickhead has a sign that says, "Hey, Dustin, your wife's in my DMs," or some shit. But he walks like right up to the float and like holds it up to Dustin Poirier. And Dustin Poirier is like, haha. He does. That's my favorite part, by the way. He goes, haha. Oh, that's a good one. Come here. And and the guy walks over to him and he smacks him in the face. But you're right. That guy should have gotten his ass beat down for that.
Well, that's the shit that like gets me frustrated and like provides me tension,
Like,
because I
on
go
their behalf, yeah.
because it's this thing of like from my perspective, just being a a spectator of this shit, you look at that guy do that and you go, in a weird way, you're like, that's fine that you did that because you're about to get your ass kicked and things will go back to the balance of the universe. But
Right.
then when he doesn't get his ass kicked, you're like, wait, no, something's wrong. Something's wrong right now. You should be in pain. You can't just do that. Like what is this world
His
we
wife is
exist
there,
in
too.
where
His
what's
wife is
this world? What's this world we exist in where Dustin Poirier puts that much fucking work into being the strongest motherfucker in the world, and this fat fucking piece of shit can just do that to him?
Yeah, we
don't.
should be able to do that.
The world is not right,
Right.
and that's what we'll leave you on. We got to wrap it up. Pat, did you, before we get out of here, actually, did you? We went kind of long today, but did you listen to that Sincere Engineer album I sent you?
No, not yet.
Okay. So we had a fan hit me up on Twitter asking us if we listened to this album by the band Sincere Engineer.
Oh yeah, the one you were supposed to give the review on.
Yeah, but no, I mean if we both
you
have
said not
time.
me.
What?
No, you said just you though.
All right. Either way, I want the guy who hit me up about that, I want you to know I saw that. It will be coming. I just
Ew.
well, I'll get it for you later this week. So look out for that. Guys and gals, everyone in between, thanks for hanging out with us. We love you all. Have a good one. Be about it. Peace.